moving on. Burlington. No, not Burlington that we go to get our jewelry or our perfume. Burlington County youth pastor charged with online exploitation of 13 youth. 13. Boy, he been busy. Sean Higgins, S-E-A-N, indicted by a grand jury on 75 criminal counts. Darn. This in New Jersey, August 2022, so this is current. A Burlington County pastor. He's a pastor, you guys. He's a pastor. Okay. Charges related to online exploitation of 13 male youths. A grand jury indicted Sean Higgins, 31, of Palmyra, allegedly coaxed underage boys on social media to send him nude pictures and videos, then using that material to blackmail his victims into performing blank acts on themselves for his enjoyment. He is facing 75 total criminal counts that included charges of endangering the welfare of child, aggravated assault, criminal contact, cyber harassment, and obscenity to a minor. Wow. I definitely need a Corona. 13 of the counts were first-degree charges. The 13 victims were between 12 and 17 who lived in Alabama, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, and Tennessee. He was moving around. He was moving around. He was getting kids, trying to get them to trust him. Once they trust him, he was doing this. He definitely needs to be sent to Dr. Moreau's Island. They need to get him, put him out on a Boeing jet or however they do it, and just drop him off. These crimes were allegedly committed in 2020. Recently, while Higgins was serving as a youth pastor and music leader at Harbor Baptist Church in Hainesport, he was also serving as a teacher at the Harbor Baptist Academy, a private K-12 school that is housed in the same facility. So these people are paying this man, paying him. Okay. The investigation was conducted by the Burlington County Prosecutors High Tech Crimes Unit. Wow. I'm going to keep my thought to myself. I want to say something so bad, but I'm not. You guys, y'all know me. I want to say it so bad, but I'm going to be quiet. During the investigation, it was revealed that Higgins would adopt the persona of a teenage girl. I figured it. That's how he was getting them. He was making them think he was a girl. Okay. And utilized Snapchat and Instagram to begin a conversation with a juvenile male, introducing himself as Julie Miller. Okay, that's how he was doing it. Because remember from the dating app horrors, check out my videos. That's how some of these guys was getting these men to meet up with them. Okay, after establishing a rapport, Higgins would suggest that they trade photos and then would send pictures of an unidentified female teenager. In return, Higgins would often receive nude photos that the victims took of themselves. Immediately upon receiving those images, he would take a screenshot of the victim's friends list that was visible on the forwarding facing social media platform. See, I'm going to be honest. We don't know all this stuff. Yes, the older generation, I don't know what y'all call us, the dinosaurs. I would never, and I'm not on any of those things, but you would never know, this is how he was doing it. Okay, so then, so basically after he conned them, hooked them, he had information on their little friends. In most of the cases that were investigated, Higgins then demanded that his victims go into the bathroom at their residence and place a phone on the floor or at an angle looking up, and would instruct the victims to blank, you know what I'm saying, and perform blank acts on themselves. Higgins would record what was transpiring. He needs to be snatched up. I'm serious. And if I was one of these kids' parents, you know, I don't know. I'll just keep that thought to myself. It'll be, what was that little movie? Was that Wayman's, one of the Wayman's brothers? I'm gonna get you, sucker. It was something to that, but yeah. The investigators began after a youth in Berks County, Pennsylvania contacted Snapchat and reported that he sent new photos of himself to someone he believed to be an unknown female. The unknown female, who in actuality was Higgins, had threatened to expose his new photographs after they exchanged pictures. An underage male in Alabama also reported his communications with Higgins to law enforcement. Thank goodness somebody had some sense. Higgins has been lodged in the Burlington County Jail in Mount Holly since being taken into custody at his residence in October 2020. Why are we just hearing about this? Anyone who believes their child has had inappropriate interaction on Snapchat or Instagram with someone going by the username of Julie Miller or Julia Miller or some variations of that name need to contact Burlington County. 609-265-7113. I forgot who this little boy, and he was upstate, I think upstate New York or Pennsylvania, and he was just so messed up from it that he unlived himself basically. And the parents said they didn't know what was up, what was going on, and when they started looking through stuff, they found out their son got caught up thinking he was sending pictures of himself to a little girl, and it was some old pervert dude. You guys, you got to know what your kids are doing. You got to know, and you got to educate them. You got to just sit down and have that conversation. When you see stories in the news like this, just sit down and have that conversation. It was something that happened in the news recently. And the boys, my nephews, they're still young adults, and I told you we're helicopters. We're all helicopters. So anytime I see something, I just saw. Look, what was it I saw? And I had to call one of them so he can tell the other ones. I think it was a girl going around setting up dudes, and then have her boyfriend break into or basically she was getting up, unlocking the door. And then her boyfriend and his guys come in and burglarize. Moving on. Mother, that's right, I said mother, and 2 pastors arrested for child abuse. Big old pretty house, big old nice house. This recent July 2022. Memphis, Tennessee. I told y'all in that last video, it's a lot of stuff going down in Memphis. And it's not the barbecue. Not the barbecue, okay, or the Memphis wings. Texas pastors and a child's mother. 2 pastors and a child's mother were indicted on charges of child abuse years after it was reported. Michelle Strong is the girl's mother. According to an arrest affidavit, Strong told police officers she wanted the child gone because she has been stealing. The girl told officers she didn't want to be with her mother because she wasn't being fed. The alleged abuse was reported in October of 2018. Why is it? No wonder so many kids being abused. So many kids coming up missing. So many kids being unlived. The CPS, the child protective, they're not on their job. They're not. At the time, the then 8-year-old girl was taken to LeBonwood Children's Hospital and examined. The results found severe bruising and swelling, as well as scars and whip marks. The girl told hospital staff she hadn't eaten in 4 days. I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna keep it real. I bet that mama had food stamps and you're not feeding your child. Yeah, I went there. She also said she was beaten with a belt and switches by her mother, as well as Apostle Calvin Dixon and Pastor Tori Dixon. I guess they married. Doctors told police the injuries were from child abuse by torture and said the girl had lost 28 pounds in 11 months. Strong was indicted on aggravated child abuse charges. Calvin and Tori are also charged in connection with the case. Now, y'all pastors, what y'all should have been doing was reporting this, but they were involved in this. They each face 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. It's unclear why the indictment didn't come until 2022 when the charges occurred in 2018. That's your Child Protective Services at it again. Always dropping the bomb. According to social media posts, the Dixons are pastors at the Place of Reconciliation in Batesville, Mississippi. Batesville residents told Action News 5 they were shocked after finding out their neighbors, lead pastors at the Place of Reconciliation. Oh, shoot. Neighbors are saying they are shocked by the allegations because you don't expect your pastor. You don't even have to be my pastor. Just me hearing you say, I'm Pastor so-and-so, this is my wife, and she so happened to be a pastor. I don't expect that. I don't expect that. It's kind of like when you see a judge, or you hear about a judge, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or even a police, and you hear, oh, their child been involved in criminal activity. Their child turn around and unalive them. You don't expect that. You expect better, okay? So here they're saying, it's crazy because I did not know that, said one neighbor. This neighbor did not want to be on camera, but told us that they didn't know the accused pastors, Calvin and Tori Dixon. Court records showed Strong and the Dixons were with the same address back in 2018. So they all lived together. How did they have a church and they're abusing kids? That's crazy. And for it to be happening right here in Batesville and not know anything about it, said one neighbor. I'm wondering if they related, but they would have said it. So here is where the bonds come in. Michelle Strong is charged with 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. She's held on $150,000 bond. Calvin and Tori each charged with 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. They're being held on $150,000 bond. Wow. Again, we expect better. I expect better. I've had people introduce themselves. Oh, I'm Pastor so-and-so. Or I'm Reverend so-and-so. And I call them by that, Pastor so-and-so, Reverend so-and-so. I remember years ago, I was at my favorite little grocery store. It was on a Sunday. Got off from my Catholic church early, but we call ourselves church hobos. This family does. We go to all the different churches, visit, whatever. I don't know where I was at, but I could hear a child howling and screaming. So as I walked close and closer, I saw a man, big, tall, black man. He wasn't big, heavy-set guy, but he was a big, tall guy, dressed in a suit. So I knew right there, and the little boy was in a little suit. And the child, I don't know if the child was in the basket or what, I don't remember. But I remember that man had that belt in his hand like he was he was whipping on a horse or on one of them wild, I don't know, bulls, Brahma bull. And I looked at him and I stood there, and I was not the size I am now. I would tell you, I would have to be about size 6, maybe a 4. And I told him, I said, sir, please don't do that anymore. That's right. Little old me at that time. And I mean, this guy was huge. He was a big, tall guy. And he just had that anger in his eyes. And little old me And he looked at me, and I tell you, that man has always been on my side. He looked like he wanted to take that belt, that whip, and whoop on me. I could tell by the way he was just like, what? How dare you? And y'all, we know how we are. How dare you interrupt me? How dare you tell me how to discipline my child? So I ran, not like really running, but I started walking real fast. And I went and got the store manager, and the store manager went over there, and I don't remember what he told him. I think he probably told him to stop, or I'm fixing to get the cops or something. But yeah, I went and got the store manager. Would I have done that now, today, the way things are? I don't think I would have. I think I probably would have just went running, got the police, or and not actually, because now it's just so crazy. Yeah. So hey, you guys, you see, you hear something, you need to tell somebody. You need to call 911. You need to call CPS. You need to educate your child on, hey, somebody touches you inappropriate, somebody's asking you to do something, you need to tell someone. And don't let them threaten you that I'm going to do this to your family, do that to your mama. You let them know, like my mama taught us, you better be scared of my mama. My mama not scared of you. You better be scared of my mama and my daddy, because they will unlike you. Okay, so that wouldn't have flew, with us at our house. So again, keep these people lifted up in prayers. These children of abuse, the survivors, and hey, leave me those comments.